because I feel a sense of obligation to raise awareness and educate my community about the cruelty of this condition. I'm here tonight because I believe that I'm surrounded by people who will join me in the fight against this disease before it's too late. And not just for me, but for all of the young people who are coming after me in the grip of HIBM. HIBM is a progressively debilitating neuromuscular disease that typically leads to severe incapacitation within 10 to 15 years of its onset. It strikes young men and women in the prime of our lives with very little warning. It slowly robs us of our physical strength and mercilessly wears upon our mental strength, challenging our ability to maintain a sense of calm in the face of escalating anxiety about our futures. And though 1 out of 20 Persian Jews are carriers of HIBM, and new patients are being diagnosed all the time, there still remains no approved treatment or cure, and there continues to be shame and stigma attached to it. Growing up, my parents taught me that nothing mattered more than my health, and they instilled in me a deeply held gratitude for it. We had always been blessed not to have any major illnesses in our family. And from a young age, I was able to appreciate how lucky I was. I never took it for granted, and I secretly believed that we were immune to such pain. For so many years, I was. I try to avoid thinking about my life in those pre-disease years because it is too painful. 2 more. Being physically active, working towards goals, physical and otherwise, pushing myself hard, had always been an integral. Had always been an integral part of my identity. Running, hiking, playing tennis, playing piano and guitar, even even cycling 600 miles down the coast of California. Those were the activities that brought me the greatest joy and satisfaction. But it wasn't until I went off to medical school in Tel Aviv, where I met my husband, when I truly knew what it meant to be blessed. My life fell into place in a way that I could not have imagined, and we came back to Los Angeles to do our residencies and begin our futures together. We spent our free time jogging at the beach and imagining all the adventures that awaited us. But then, during my intern year of residency, something strange started to happen. Colleagues at work started to comment on the way I walked, asking me why I was limping. I brushed them off, not knowing to what they were referring. But eventually, I noticed, it's okay.
Sure?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Eventually, I noticed that something was off. And it wasn't until my 3rd year of residency that I decided that I should probably investigate what was going on with my body. At the time, I was 31 years old, and my husband and I were thinking of becoming pregnant. By then, I could no longer run, and even walking had become effortful. I had become clumsy, regularly tripping and falling. And so I bounced around to various doctors, and eventually to a neurologist, who referred me to a neuromuscular disease specialist at UCLA. The physician who first examined me happened to be of Persian Jewish descent. And after a few minutes of listening to my story and examining me, he told me that he thought I had HIBM, hereditary inclusion body myopathy, a disease found among Persian Jews. A disease that, as a physician and Persian Jew myself, I had never even heard of. And in that moment, my world stood still. Everything I believed about who I was and what my life would be was no more. I was in shock, but more than anything, I was terrified. HIBM is not a disease you can look up in any medical textbook, and you can't go online and see all the treatments that are available to you, because still to this day, there are none. All you can find is a stark repetition of the phrase, severe incapacitation. And the progression is different for every patient, so you can't know what will happen to you or when. Some patients are in a wheelchair by age 19. Some patients can no longer feed themselves by age 40, but some others are still walking with leg braces and a cane at age 50. All All that you do know is that you will continue to get worse, and that until there is an effective treatment, the progression will not stop until you are incapacitated. And tolerating that kind of uncertainty is an ongoing struggle. I decided that notwithstanding that a pregnancy would likely accelerate the progression of my disease, I could not let the disease take from me the essence of what life is about for me. 4 months after I was diagnosed, I was lucky enough to become pregnant with my older son, who is now 6. Life for any mother is challenging, but parenting with a disability comes with an extra set of hardships and heartbreaks. I can't pick up my son when he falls, and I can't delight him in a game of chase, but I can tolerate that pain. What is more difficult is seeing the look of confusion and fear in his eyes when I suddenly lose my balance while standing next to him and fall to the ground. "Are you okay, Mommy?" he cries out. I feel his worry for me when I can't keep up with the other parents, and it breaks my heart. And it breaks again when I hear him hope aloud that maybe if I exercise enough, my muscles could be strong like his. And that's only now. He has no idea what may lie ahead for me, for us, for our family. And I hate that he and his younger brother have to watch their mother physically deteriorate at such a young age. I have reached a point in this disease where the adaptations to my increasing weaknesses are no longer quick fixes or easy substitutions. I wear leg braces because I still have enough leg strength to walk, and I can avoid using a wheelchair. I push the stroller or a shopping cart in stores instead of using a walker. I use my right hand to open things because for now it is still less weak than my left. I hired a surrogate to carry our second son instead of getting pregnant myself because it was too risky. But I see that try as I might to hold on to this life as I currently know it and do it, I'm running out of alternative ways to try to do the same things. And soon, I will just simply not be able to do them at all. I want to tell you more specifically about the losses that I have endured so far. I now have a complete foot drop in both of my legs, which means that my feet are essentially lifeless and limp. I can barely wiggle my toes. I wear leg braces full time now in order to walk, and by the end of the day, my feet are sore and uncomfortable. Getting out of a chair is becoming more difficult. The muscles on my shoulders have wasted away, making it hard to lift things that aren't even considered heavy. And I regularly wake up in the middle of the night because a part of my body has fallen asleep, because it doesn't have the strength to spontaneously shift positions during the night. I have to vigorously shake it out. And what's probably most frightening for me is the weakness in my neck. When I wake up in the morning, I have to place my hand behind my head to lift it off the pillow, because my neck is losing the strength required to support my head. My body is slowly deforming into one that I do not recognize. So what does my future look like? I don't know. I can only tell you what makes me panic in the middle of the night. I think about how I'm only 38, but my body is decades ahead of me. I wonder if losing my mobility might also kill my spirit, if I have the mental strength to wake up in this same body every day, and if, as my body degenerates, it will alter my desire to participate in my own life with my family and friends. I worry, quite literally, about losing myself. But I have not given up, and I'm not ready nor willing to accept this as my fate, and I don't believe that I have to. We know from the scientific community that a treatment or a cure for HIV/AIDS is within our reach. We can change my future and the future of all HIV/AIDS patients, and not only those of us who have already been diagnosed, but especially the ones who are still living their carefree, pre-disease lives, still unaware of the horror that awaits them. They are your nieces and nephews, children and grandchildren. On behalf of all of us, I thank you for hearing my urgency. I thank you for your support and generosity, and I take comfort in all of it.